No one ever imagined the unmistakable hiss of a Coca-Cola can would fall silent on American soil. But after 139 years of red and white patriotism, the king of cola is plotting a transatlantic escape. Trump's newest tariff barrage didn't just dent the can, it cracked the entire business model. If a brand this woven into U.S. history can't weather a protectionist storm, what happens to the rest of corporate America? Hold that thought while we trace the bubbles back to where they first started to burst. Summer 2018 felt like harmless fireworks at first. A 10% levy on imported aluminum. Coke shrugged, nudged prices up, and kept pouring. But fast forward to February 2025, a fresh 25% hit lands. This time aimed squarely at every foreign ounce of metal. CEO James Quincey warns investors the squeeze is impossible to swallow without passing it on. Overnight, every can coming off a U.S. conveyor carries a hidden tariff tax. Suppliers panic, bottlers revise budgets, and store buyers demand answers. The aluminum wall has closed in. And that's only the first domino. Behind the familiar fizz lies an international relay race. Brazilian sugarcane is crushed at dawn. Caramel color concentrates shipped north. Canadian aluminum rolls into Midwest can plants. And Asian PET resin pellets sail across the Pacific. Tariffs on one partner hobble the next. Tariffs on three partners bring the whole chain to a screeching halt. Freight boats idle. Warehouse costs balloon, and Coke's legendary just-in-time rhythm skips like a scratched vinyl record. Efficiency, Coke's secret ingredient, evaporates. But even if metal prices spike, plastic might save the day, or poison it. On the February earnings call, Quincey floats a controversial lifeboat. Pivot more U.S. drinks into PET bottles. Plastic isn't nailed by metal tariffs, so margins survive. Yet, environmental activists hear alarm bells. Remember, Coke is already in court fighting accusations that its 100% recycled promise is pure, green-washed fizz. Swapping aluminum, recyclable forever, for plastic with a grim 29% recovery rate feels like trading one headache for another. The company suddenly finds itself squeezed between Trump's tariff hammer and an eco-backlash anvil. Inside Coca-Cola's skyscraper boardroom, the tone grows urgent. Spreadsheets show a potential double-digit earnings hit if tariffs stick for 2 more fiscal years. Shareholders hungry for the next dividend whisper about more radical surgery. Ship the corporate HQ to friendlier shores where aluminum flows tariff-free and taxes run thinner. It's not a patriotic look, but Wall Street worships numbers, not nostalgia. The debate turns from how do we cope to where do we land? And so the scouting begins. Rotterdam entices with deep water ports, Dutch tax rulings, and an English-speaking talent pool. Frankfurt counters with precision logistics, Germany's engineering brain trust, and EU market clout. Then Zurich joins the chat. Low corporate taxes, political neutrality, alpine stability. Each host dangles sweeteners, expedited permits, green energy credits, even dedicated rail spurs. For Coke, the calculus is chillingly simple. Lower input costs plus tariff-free exports equals a lifeline. A decision looms, and Atlanta's century-old headquarters starts to feel like a relic. The cost of leaving isn't measured only in spreadsheets. 58 U.S. plants, 10,000 employees, and more than 700 small vendors, printing labels, molding bottle caps, servicing vending machines, depend on Coke contracts. If the mothership sails, many of those paychecks sink. Pepsi smells opportunity and drafts a flag-waving ad blitz. Still bottled in the USA, craft sodas push a triple whammy message: local, artisanal, patriotic. The cola wars get a brand new battlefield. Loyalty versus price. Coca-Cola once rode with U.S. soldiers in World War II, bankrolled 4-H scholarships, and sponsored Olympic dreams. Now, loyal drinkers watch their hometown hero flirt with foreign soil. On talk radio, callers call it desertion. On Wall Street bets, meme traders cheer the cost-cutting coup. Abroad, the brand faces its own demons. A Colombian village accuses Coke's bottler of draining precious springs, while European regulators sue over recycled bottle claims. For a company trying to sip from every cultural cup, the optics grow murky. Will Washington blink first and roll back tariffs? Or will Coke's exodus inspire a caravan of American multinationals to follow? Tech firms, pharma giants, even denim makers are quietly modeling Plan B. Meanwhile, trade hawks double down, insisting short-term pain will restore industrial muscle. In boardrooms from Chicago to Silicon Valley, executives refresh the same dashboard: aluminum spot prices, tariff negotiation rumors, and Coca-Cola's relocation tracker. So here we are. The drink that once symbolized boundless American optimism is weighing life beyond U.S. borders. Tariffs were meant to protect domestic industry. Instead, they're pushing a global titan to consider crossing oceans. Maybe the real lesson isn't about soda at all. Maybe it's about how quickly the ground shifts when policy, profit, and principle collide. Because if Coca-Cola can't find room to breathe in the land where it was born, what's next to leave the fridge?